Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and brought to you by our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's a veteran singer-songwriter born in Detroit, now in Palm Springs, California, and he started his career with the Lovett Brothers Band and began his bluegrass group, the High Grass Rollers in San Diego. He has loyal followers on Spotify, YouTube, and all the podcast platforms, and he's been doing this for quite some time, and he's got a really good following. He's got Texas Night, I Ain't Got the Money, Here's Love, and we'll be featuring guitar, song, and more as well with amazing gentlemen. Live from the Plus Studios from the beautiful downtown Palm Springs, the multi-talented singer-songwriter born in Detroit, now in Palm Springs, with the amazing Rick Lovett. Rick, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Mike, and thank you very much for the kind words. And thank you for having me on your show. I'm delighted to be here.
Well, it's great to have you on board, Rex. You're a singer-songwriter you've been doing for quite some time, and you're born in Detroit. You did country, classic rock, just about everything under the sun. You began your career with the Lovett Brothers Band. You began your bluegrass group, the High Grass Rollers in San Diego, and you moved out there quite some time ago. And you have loyal followers on Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, SoundCloud, and all the podcast platforms. Also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and just about everything under the sun. And you've got a new release called Guitar Song, and we'll be playing a couple of your songs after the audio interviews. So we make sure everybody tune into that. Texas Night, Here's Love, and more. And before getting to all that, Rick, tell us how you first got started.
I got first started in music as seriously, other than just hanging around with my family, and we were all spontaneous singers. Like, to get serious about it, I bought a Fender guitar on the credit, and 24% interest, folks. And
24% interest. That was well
I
worth
won't
it.
tell who was charging me that, but I paid it. I thought that guitar, and incidentally, I bought that guitar for $300, and I still got it. And they say it's worth thousands of dollars. I haven't checked.
Wow.
It wound up being a good deal for me, but I got that guitar, and I was working in a General Motors production factory, and on that, and I worked afternoon. So I bought that guitar, and I bought a PA system that had column speakers, and I plugged that thing in my little apartment, and I started playing it every day. And up to that point, I'd had an acoustic guitar and had been writing a few songs with my brothers, but I took on a more serious bent of it. And so I started playing that electric guitar during the day. And then finally, me and him bought a house together. My brother Steve, who he's wrote a lot of my songs that I'm doing now, and he was my mentor. And so me and him bought a house that had a really cool old basement, old house in Detroit, and we started playing down there. And we had been writing songs all along with acoustic guitars, but now, like, because we had these electric guitars, my old friend that I grew up with, he started playing drums with us, and my brother Ray joined in as playing bass with us. So we were very unpolished. Nobody took any. But we wanted to learn to play so bad that we finally did. And what we were really good at is being creative and doing songs that my brother wrote. And he was a fantastic entertainer and a way better songwriter. But he didn't want to do cover tunes and play bars and stuff. So he didn't want to do that. He just wanted to do his own songs, and we didn't have enough of them, and some of them didn't fit the places we were playing, and I felt like I needed to learn how to play music, so I had to learn to do some cover songs because that's how I was learning. So he left the band, and we wound up being a bar band, and which was a lot of fun. I love playing. I'd play one now if I had a band. I love playing bars, and I loved every minute of it. And so I was with the Lovett Brothers Band, and we played for about 7 years, and we played weddings and private parties and stuff. And we were playing we played at Eagles and old Beatles classics and some Tom Petty, some music from the 80s and 70s and 60s. And then we broke up, and then I was sitting there still living in Detroit, and I thought, well, I got to get my kids out of the city and away from my rowdy friends that I was all that I hung out with. So I moved out to the farm about 75 miles from Detroit, and I moved away from all my rowdy friends. And so, but I went to school and became a nurse so I could have an adult wage to take care of my kids because I had to put my family first. And I continued to write songs by myself, and I continued to write songs with my brother Steve. And so then my kids got all grown up. I moved to California and started a bluegrass band, and we played for about 5 years together. And we were actually a very popular bluegrass band, as popular as you can be in California on the beaches of San Diego. And they
Nice.
did like us. We had good responses to every show we ever played there, and we played a lot of them. And then that band finally broke up, and so I was a little disillusioned because I always depended on a band and my friends playing with me. I could never do a solo thing, especially in a bar. And so I went quite a few years and I sort of just let music go because I just thought, it left me with a sour taste after I did all that work, and it just didn't happen for me again. And I'm getting up in age. So I tried painting. I painted some Bob Ross pictures. I've been writing. I've got a
Yes,
book.
put that over here and put that over there.
Yeah, right. That's not a mistake. That's a happy little cloud. That's a happy little cloud. Those are happy mistakes. This is your
Happy
world.
mistake.
Do whatever you want. So I tried that, and I tried getting into exercise, hiking, and all that stuff, and it came back to the music thing for me, and thank God it did, because I have so much to do now, and I've done so much in the last 2 years. Jeff Forrest and I have put out. Well, I think it's eight. When my song comes up off of TuneCore in about a day or so, that'll be 18 songs
Wow.
in about a year and a half, and we did 6 videos. Two or three of those songs I had recorded years ago with the High Grass Rollers, and I just threw them in there too. They're my songs. So we did a fantastic amount of work. And for me, I never expected anything, Mike. I never expected no money or anything. Just if my family liked my music, that would have been good enough. But I've had some good luck with it. For me, and everything's relative to that. I'm
Hmm.
nothing to someone like Beyonce or those people that are getting millions of looks and stuff. But amongst my peers, I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm getting about I'm getting about 1,000 hits a day between
Nice.
all streamers. And for me, who never expected nothing, who's just a humble guy, that I do the best I can. I never even thought I had a great voice. I always tell Pam, I said the songs are good, the musicians are good, but I don't know about that singer guy. But lately, I've had 4 people tell me that I sound like Gordon Lightfoot. And so
Nice. Yeah.
I thought that was great because I had never really thought of what I sounded like. When I was playing in the bluegrass band, I told my very good friend Eric Biggins that whenever I would sing somebody's song, like if I sang a Merle Haggard song or a George Jones song, or I would say somewhere in my mind, I'm trying to sound like that person, I guess. And so I never really discovered that I had this voice. Well, why don't you just sing it in your voice? So I did. I told my friend that, and he said, "Well, Rick," he said, "you still just sound like Rick Lovett. I don't care what you're thinking. You sound like Rick Lovett." And so I guess I did have a voice. Jeff Forrest told me the other day, he's the engineer and my drummer and bass player and a lot of other things. He told me the other day that because I had said, "Well, I'm not a great guitar player. Those guys are great guitar players." And he said, "Yeah, but you got your own voice." And so now maybe I do. Maybe I've been blessed with, maybe if you heard a song, you would say, "Yeah, I think that's Rick Lovett."
Yeah, it is amazing. You got a great story right there. And what was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career? It was a light bulb moment. Boy, what was it?
To come into music or to come back into it.
Come into music.
Um, my brother Steve. Um, I was just playing a guitar, just being a young guy, had a motorcycle and girlfriends, and was just having a great time. And I would go over to my brother's house, and he would get this song. Hey, look at this song I got. And I mean, you look at the song, it ain't really got no music to it or nothing. But you see right away that he's really good at it.
Hmm.
You don't take that stuff seriously. Then another song, and then I broke up in a relationship, and I wound up moving in with him and his wife for a couple of months,
Wow.
and so then when it was, hey, take a look at this song, I grabbed the guitar. And so he led me into it. And my guitar playing, which was just practice because I was a beginner, he turned those things into songs, a regular song. He turned that into a whole song. And it's like all of a sudden, my little things I'm doing here, my little 3-chord picking things, he's turned them into a song. So it made my guitar playing more important, I guess.
Hmm.
And so inspired me to keep playing the guitar. And now I had somebody that was actually singing songs and making my guitar work, and I was making his songs work because I was kind of a natural at that 3-chord 1-4-5 thing. That came pretty easy to me, and it was kind of like we were born to do that together or something. Because I was the person who did the music and he was the lyric guy. And so once I got with him, and I still think this, he was great. My brother was, it's too bad the world doesn't know how great of a songwriter he is, and may, good Lord willing, some of these songs that I'm doing, and I will always give him his credit. He wrote them, and Mike, my wife gets up faithfully every day and counts how many hits I have from wherever. His songs
Better
are,
than coffee.
yeah, yeah. She gets her coffee and she starts doing it. And so 4 of the top 5 songs that I've got right now, my brother wrote them. But
Hmm.
I have one song that's still the top song. I Ain't Got the Money. And I wrote that. And Guitar Song, I wrote that one. But he's got like these 3 ballad songs. They're just beautiful. They're just awesome songs. And they have rose up to the top. They're 3 of the top 4 songs I got now my brother Steve wrote. And I'm so delighted with that because I can write songs. I got a technique. I know how to do it too. But he was like a poet too. And his songs were more in depth.
Hmm. And certainly did as well too. And who are some other favorite singers, songwriters, and musicians growing up?
On and from different genres. I grew up in Detroit when AM radio was big.
Oh, I
So
remember Amory. I missed that a great deal.
yeah, well, AM radio, WKNR, CKLW from Canada, they played a mix of songs. You might hear Johnny Cash song, then you're definitely going to hear a Four Tops song.
Hmm.
You might hear something like uh, the Four Seasons and the Kinks, the Who, then the Temptations. So, and even Ray Charles. So I was listening to all those different kind of musics growing up, and I grew up in the honky tonk area of Detroit, Michigan, down on in the shadier part of town where I grew up. But I was a boy down there. And they had a string of bars, and it was by then it was mostly people that had migrated from down south to get jobs in the factories and stuff. And so that neighborhood and being a shoe shine boy and those bars, those music playing real loud in there, like Bobby Bear's song, 500 Miles from Home, I Want to Go Home. All of those songs touched the hearts of all those people down there, including myself.
Hmm.
Uh, so that music influenced me. So people that I listened to then, I loved Johnny Cash, of course, Buck Owens, Porter Wagner, even farther back, Ernest Tubb. They play Ernest Tubb down there on 3rd Street, and they'd come out there, thanks a lot. I got a broken heart. That's all I got. And then one night I was working in a factory, and I was the midnight shift nurse. And so it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and Al, the guard, came over to the nursing station, and I had the Midnight Rider on. Bill, I can't think of his name right now, but he had the Midnight Rider radio show, and he'd play the old classics, and he was playing that "Thanks a Lot," thanks a lot. So Al says, give me that radio." And he took that radio and he had a speaker where he could put it on there, and it went all across this factory that had 3,000 people in it. They're all listening to Ernest Tubb.
Oh
And
my goodness.
yeah, give it some more of it. Bill Mack. It was the Bill Mack show, the Midnight Rider. I don't even know if Bill Mack's alive now, but and he wrote songs and actually had country hits too. But he was a great radio host. Bill Mack with the Midnight Rider show. So those guys affected me, the old country guys in my early years, and my mother liked that music. And then, of course, I grew up in Detroit, so I love Levi Stubbs, the lead singer of the Four Tops. Jackie Wilson, and all David Ruffian, the Temptations. Those guys were all great singers. The old soul singers that I like, Brooke Benton, because Brooke Benton sort of crossed over into that country, so I like all of his stuff. And you know what I've been doing is I'll listen to these great singers. Like here's one, Peter Wolf of Jay Giles.
I remember.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. That was before freeze frame and all that.
yeah. He what my favorite rock song is "I Must Have Got Lost" by Jay Giles, and I've seen them, and they were every band I've ever seen. When I walk away leaving saying that's the best band ever. But if you listen to him or any of these singers and listen to how they do their nuances, where they won't let a word die out, they'll do that right thing right at the end there and give it like a, or they'll break a word like instead of your, it's your. Instead of your, it's your. Yeah,
Your.
instead of your, it's yours. So, and you can do too much of it. There's these people out there that maybe do a little too much of that. But it's the nuances of singing that if you listen to him and you pay close attention to him, I've heard people say that Willie Nelson wasn't a good singer, but he is. He's a great singer. Listen to Willie Nelson and how he uses his nuances that goes with his voice. And he can do the vibrato thing as well as any of them. He's a great singer. And maybe you don't have a great sounding voice. Like when I did my album with the High Grass Rollers, and then I had time, and there's discs available, lots of them. And so I listened to the album back, and what happened to me, I'd been singing for years and I played in lots of bands. But there I was when I did it. And when I had a chance to listen back to it, I could hear where I didn't utilize my voice as much as I could. And what had happened was, and I talked to Jeff about it, I was singing in the bar. I'd always been a bar singer, not a recording artist. I've always been a bar singer. So you want to be loud enough to get it out there to the crowd. But on those nights when you're out there just jamming and having a good time, maybe you're not practicing those nuances. And while I was in California, I was living in an apartment with my wife. I sold my farm and moved out there because I got a big fat raise in money. And so I didn't have a place to practice my vocals. I could only do so much with it. So I don't think I did a great job on the vocals there. But where I live now, I have my little studio set up. And the way my walls are, I get a real good acoustics in it. And so I record on my tape, on my not my tape, on my recorder. I'll record my guitar, and then I'll sing on it, and I'll put a bass on it. Then I can turn it up loud enough, and I got it really nice and loud where I can really get that microphone and sing, and I'm getting those acoustics. And it's actually, it even sounds better to me than when I'm in the studio with the headphones.
How you like
And
that?
I can get my nuances now because I can hear them out there. Acoustics. I can learn how to let that word go on or expand it at the end. So I think I've done better. And Jeff told me that. I said, I think my songs are sounding a little better. And he says, that's because you're better, man. Because well, I was 20 years ago with the High Grass Rollers. He said, you're better. You're better than you were then. And at my age, that I didn't take it as, oh, you didn't think I was any good then. Of course. But I think at my age, I think maybe I am better at it because I don't work no more. I was a nurse and I had to work full time, and so I didn't have time to practice those nuances.
Right. Yeah. And you got nuances yourselves too. You got Texas Night, I Ain't Got the Money, Here's Love, that guitar song with all the nuances with the amazing singer, songwriter, multi-talented Rick Lovett. We'll get to those. But first, you listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those who love me to first go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews. and Evil Eleven endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Costi, Forge Riley, and Minions. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Melson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com and our 40 podcast platforms. Heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also Apple Music, Odyssey. Subscribe on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube as well, too, along with Podbean and Pandora. Follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and more. Take us with you on any mobile device. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast, t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies. Makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Melson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Melson-Zia. Check it out today and support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. You hear the amazing multi-talented singer-songwriter born in Detroit, now outside Palm Springs, California, Rick Lovett here on the Mike Wagner Show, and began his legacy with the Lovett brothers. Later went bluegrass with the High Grass Rollers, and now you got your own work. You got Texas Night, I Ain't Got the Money, Here's Love, and Guitar Song. And tell us more about those songs and what inspired to write them.
Guitar Song is one of my favorites. It's just got a nice groove that makes people want to get up and dance. It's a very familiar groove used many times in many songs. I kind of was inspired to use that groove by Bruce Springsteen's songs Cadillac Ranch.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Times, and no matter what song we would play, and we played a lot of rock and roll. The song that we always encored with was that Cadillac Ranch song. My little grandson walks around singing Cadillac, Cadillac.
Oh
So
yeah.
the way he was just storming on with them three chords there. Well, I wrote quite a few songs like that, and every one of those songs worked if you put your words and your own textures on a groove that works, and well, thousands of people do. If then you're surely probably going to have music that works if you can get some words in there. So Guitar Song is just a rock and roll. Let's get with it. If on the guitars, if you're looking for a Free Bird or Blue Sky or Samba Pa, you're not going to get that. You're going to get the raw, let's get with it guitar. And if you want to hear it again, you'll have to play it again because it doesn't last very long. It's not no long playing guitar, whatever. It's just a short, quick burst of hot guitar. And those guitarists that were in on it was the great Russell Hayden from Nashville, Tennessee. He's an original San Diegan that moved to Nashville because he's so good on the steel guitar, a very talented person. And he played the steel guitar on that, and he played the electric guitar on it too. He does that guitar on where he goes.
Oh yeah.
That's Russell Hayden. And he also comes back in Texas Night too. He played in I think 4 or 5 of my 6 of my first songs. And I'm getting ready to contact them again. And so then he played also that sizzling electric guitar lead. That was in the other song. But the next guitar player in Guitar Song, his name is Trevor C. Edwards. And, he plays in, I think that it's rock, but maybe metal, I think they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a great guitarist. We talked about his family. They're old school Elvis lovers, and they play everything. And he's really an awesome guitar player. To follow Russell solo on that, and then Trevor followed him up, and they just did a wham bam job on that song. I just love that song, and that song's it's for the songs that I write instead of my brother. That song's been really picking it up. It's starting to lead the way, but yeah, the Guitar Song. I just love that.
Oh yeah, and we'll be playing at the end the audio interview as well too. You also had Texas Night, I Ain't Got the Money, Here's Love, and tell us more about those.
Texas Night. Well, Texas Night was a song that I wrote a long time ago, and Pam and I toured Texas, and we went to Galveston. We went up to where President Kennedy got shot, the book depository in Dallas, and we went and seen the Cotton Bowl Stadium, and we toured all over Texas and hung around there for about 3 weeks and met some cool people there, and rowdy friends We're going to find. We're going to have a rowdy time.
I was just gonna say, maybe think of Hank Williams and that Monday Night Football theme. All my rowdy friends coming over tonight.
Yeah, I got a couple of good, cool things. Yeah, see, that's where that came from. I'm sure people have said "Rowdy Friends" before, but Hank Jr. made that famous. And when I was playing with the High Grass Rollers in between songs, I used that a lot because I was quite a bit older than the rest of the guys. I'd say, "Yeah, all my friends, all my rowdy friends, settle down." They'd all be looking at me. I'd go, "So I got some new ones," and they were all real younger than me. So people. And then on that Texas night, I wrote, "I'm going to find my friends and we're going to have a rowdy time." I put that I put that in this song here in California just before I recorded it, because when I wrote it, it just went up on the shelf for all these years, and that I didn't know how people would react to "Whoa, there's something."
Oh yeah.
So I didn't know how, because I don't know if I even have a genre, maybe Americana. And so um, I, when I did that song, I added that change in it because they say you got to have a change or a bridge or something. Just don't go over 3.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
so what happened again on Texas Night is the musicians made that song for me. Here comes Russell Hayden again on that sizzling guitar, that slide guitar. When I came into the studio and talked to Jeff about it, Jeff goes, "That's the greatest lead guitar I've ever heard." And Jeff's played in music for 54 years in all kinds of bands. He's a studio engineer. He's a writer. He does everything. He's probably the most talented. He is the most talented musical person I've ever been around. He's really
Mm-hmm.
helped a lot. And so we get Russell on there on that slide guitar. And I asked Jeff, I says, "Do you think it's better than Pink Floyd's lead on Dark Side of the Moon?"
or money jump boom boom boom
For
boom
money,
boom.
yeah,
Yeah.
all the Pink Floyds, or Blue Sky by the Allman Brothers, by Dickie Betts, God rest in peace. Uh, those are all my favorite songs. I listen to Blue Sky, Jessica, I listen to all of those old guitars, the solos, Mick Taylor with the Stones. I love all those old long guitar
Mm-hmm.
solos and stuff, the Pink Floyd. But this song doesn't contain that. It's got that. You only got about 15 seconds to get with it to be a guitar man. And so Russell did that perfectly. And then we mixed it in with Trevor C. Edwards. He was from San Diego, but he lives up in Washington now. Took his
Okay.
family up into the farm country, and he's a great guitar player. And he did the second. So he did. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, he's on Texas Night too. And then Alicia Previn really brought that song home with her fiddle. Alicia Previn is the daughter of Andre Previn. He's a 6-time Academy Award winner,
Mm-hmm. I'm familiar. Yes.
pianist, Andre. And she's got his genes. She's a remarkable musician. She did 6 songs for me in one night, in one setting. And I sent her 3 songs, and she practiced those 3 songs. And then she came in that night and I said, "Would you be willing to do three more songs with me off the cuff?" And she said, "Yeah." And we offered her a break. She's a beautiful person too. And she plays, you can look her up. She's very good. And she's a solo act. So she's out there working. She drove over there, and there she's out there in that studio working. And just like you see on TV, we're watching her out there playing her fiddle, and she just sizzled up all of them songs. It's like, oh my God, this person! She never heard them before, and there's what. And then she wound up really bringing them home. She's a big Electric Light Orchestra fan, and she plays their music a lot. And so
Mm-hmm.
I really hear a lot of their connotations in her playing. She's not copying them. It's just if you play somebody a lot and you enjoy their music, sometimes that might come out in what you're playing. And I think when she did my song, some of that came out. I'm very happy with that because she's pretty amazing. She's pretty
Mm.
amazing. She didn't play on the guitar song, but she played on the other 2.
Oh,
You use
yeah.
a little guitar song. That's a guitar song.
And of course, if you're wondering if who's got the money on this one, does this guy got the money? We'll find out with Rick Lovett in just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Songwriter Studios, and brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's Missing. We'll be back in multi-talented singer songwriter born in Detroit, Rick Lovett, after this time. We're back at the multi-talented singer-songwriter born in Detroit, now in Palm Springs, California, Rick Lovett here on the Mike Wagner Show. And we talked about the guitar song, Texas Night, and all your great works and everything. And of course, we'll have this one at the end of the audio interview. I ain't got the money. And I guess the question is, does anybody got the money? So tell us about that one.
Oh yeah, this one here. I really like talking about this song because it involves a couple of different things. When when my when my brother Steve mentored me along many years ago about songwriting, he said, "Well, write songs that they'll like in bars, or if you can't think of an issue or a theme or something or a story, think of maybe about uh, old songs that had maybe a title. Like there was an old song by the Shirelles called Baby It's You, which is a great song. It's one of my favorites. It's going on my song list. And great performance by the Shirelles. So he wrote a song called Baby Again It's You. And I just recorded it. It's in TuneCore. I'm just waiting for it to come up. I recorded it a long time ago with the High Grass Rollers, and I called it um, You Never Know.
Mm-hmm.
So I changed it a little bit, made it more country there rather than bluegrass. But on let's see, on this song here, I was in a bar with the High Grass Rollers, and we were playing a Porter Wagner song that's called Misery Loves Company.
Mm-hmm.
So I sang that song in bars a lot, and it starts off like this. So break out the bottle. So I thought that, and every time I played it in beaches in San Diego, didn't matter where, people love that song. It didn't matter. Misery Loves Company. So that was a nice thing. So when I wrote my song, there was two things that came together there. First of all, I thought about what my brother said, and so I kind of answered Hank Williams' song, his old song that said, "If you got the money, I got the time. We'll go honky tonkin'. If you got the money, I got the time." So all I said, and I sort of was inspired the way Porter Wagner started his song, and I just said, "I ain't got the money,"
I ain't got the time. Yeah.
instead of yeah, "I ain't got the money, I ain't got the time." So I was answering Hank, and at the same time, I was channeling. And I don't do these things on purpose. That did give me the inspiration to answer Hank, but the Porter Wagner part, I didn't intentionally copy him. It's just that I like that so much, you just get used to it, and all of a sudden you're barking off your version of it.
And
And
just it kind of came out of it in a way too. So
because he said, "So break out the bottle," and I said, "I ain't got the money." So
or I ain't
very
got the bottle, but
similar.
you do have money.
And it worked very well for Porter Wagner. That was a great song that he wrote. I don't know how well known he is, but that was a great song. If you haven't heard it, folks, get on out there and listen to Porter Wagner sing "Misery Loves Company," which was uh, it was written by the great guitar player Jerry Reed. Jerry Reed wrote that. Jerry Reed's an underrated songwriter. He's a really good
Oh
singer.
yeah, one of my favorites, and also Smokey and the Bandit too. That's what made me think of it.
Yeah, really good. And, Amos Moses, and when you're hot, when you're hot, you're hot. When you're hot, you're hot. And
Oh yeah, I remember
that
that.
Amos Moses, and call him Amos Moses. He was a really
Ozone.
good, great guitar player. Jerry Reed was, and he wrote that song, "Misery Loves Company." And Porter Wagner made it famous.
Oh yeah, and of course Willie Nelson, I'm sure will take it to a whole new high on that one too. And if there's some other songs you want to talk about, feel free to do so.
Well, I've got a song coming out called the Shamrock Bar, or not. I was in the making. I'm really excited about it. I just wrote it, and I sang it for Jeff Forrest, and he said, "We'll put everything else down. Let's record that." When he was really excited about it, and
Mm-hmm.
then I played it for my son-in-law, and he's a music guy, and he said the same thing. He said, "What are you doing? Stop it and do the Shamrock Bar." And so I went down and I did it with Jeff, and we've just sent it out to Buzz Campbell. He's one of the guitar players I use. He's really good. He's played with the Stray Cats, and so I got that song going out to him. And then I've got a song that's coming, that's getting ready. I dropped it into TuneCore, and I'm just waiting for them to put it up. And it's called Baby Again, It's You. And there again, my brother, one night we were writing songs, and I had a song going, and then he had a song going, and he referred that to me. He said, remember I told you that maybe you just add a word or take away a word out of somebody's things, gives you the idea to write a song. And so the Shirelles made that great song, Baby It's You.
Uh-huh.
So he says, I got a song called Baby Again It's You. And I
I
said,
like
oh,
that.
okay. So my first song, I do the part where I go, well, I woke up one night early in the AM. I had that song going, and I found myself wondering about you. And so he had this song called Baby Again It's You. And he says, I'm working on this. I'm working on two songs. One's called Baby Again It's You, and the other one's called You Never Know What Love Might Bring You. And so we took all three of those songs and hooked them together. And so he used that. It goes, that song's getting ready to pop up any minute now. When we get done talking, I'm going to go see if it's popped up. It goes, Baby Again It's You.
Oh
And I
yeah,
have
it's gonna be as you as well too, and of course you can keep us up to date on that one. In the meantime, where can we find all your music at, and what's your website, Rick?
My website is going to be up on May 18th, ricklovettmusic.com. It's not up yet, but my friend is working on it. And you can find my music on YouTube and all streaming platforms. All of them. I'm on all of them. And Spotify. Thanks, Pam. Boy, I'm lucky to have her. Spotify, all of the streamers. You can get all my videos on YouTube, and I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Instagram, and I got that website going up. I believe May 19th. There might be a slight delay, but I'm hoping to get it up there. And there you'll find my music and backstories about the music. And I like to write short stories, so I believe that I'm going to be adding a few of those stories on there.
All right, that sounds great. We're certainly looking forward to it. Here with the multi-talented singer-songwriter born in Detroit, now in Palm Springs, California, Rick Lovett here on the Mike Wagner Show. And Rick, just a couple more things. What else can we expect in 2024 and beyond?
Well, my friend Jeff Forrest, who's meant so much to me in this music thing in the last 2 years, has bought a house in Portugal. So he's going
Nice.
to be leaving the US at the end of the year. And he's very, very busy because he's so good. And I mean that. He's really good. I call him a genius. And
Mm-hmm.
he's moving. So we only have about 6 months to work. And I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. Because I'm bottlenecked on songs because I've been writing them so long. So I'm going to try to get him to do 6 more songs with me and 6 videos. And the videos will be about songs we've already did. And so it's going to be a lot of work, and there's going to be a lot of preparation, and it'll be a lot of work for him, and he's got a lot of work to do. But I'm going to do my best to bribe him. I'll bribe him with some extra cash or something, not to do the work for me. And so I'm hoping to get that done, and I'm really hoping to get that done. You hear me, Jeff? and 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 then I got this song coming out, and then there's the Shamrock Bar. I sent that to Buzz, and I have another song called "Another Drink, Another Song." There I am writing songs that work in bars. It's a sad song. It's a sad refrain about a guy that's lost his love, and and it's a pretty good song. I just wrote that one. That's a newbie, but when we sent it out and it came back, there's a section of it that doesn't have a solo in it, and
Hmm.
so I haven't had time to work on it. I hit it a couple of times. I might play the guitar solo on that one. I'm a pretty good enough electric guitar to cover 20 seconds.
I mean,
And so
that's
that
all you
song's on
really
the
need.
shelf.
That's all you really need, basically. 20 seconds, you're done. 15 seconds of fame, 5 seconds of overtime. You think about that one. So,
I can handle electric guitar for 20 seconds. I thought I had something going. I'm not like those professional studio guitar players, Buzz Campbell, Jeff King. I the players that I have down in Nashville now, my fiddle player who has replaced Alicia because she moved away and She doesn't have the equipment to be able to go back and forth. I now have Jimmy Mattingly, who plays right now. Last night he played with Garth Brooks in Las Vegas. He's been Garth
Oh,
Brooks' fiddle
nice.
player for 30 years, and
Wow.
he's turned me on to three different musicians in Nashville, and they're all on my records now. That are all A-list, top-notch, wanted studio players in Nashville. They've each one of them have all played with the biggest, Ricky Skaggs, Dolly Parton, all of them. And so I'm lucky to have that group of people working on my songs now. And but the leader of that is, and I have a song for him, is Jimmy Mattingly, the fiddle player. But right now he's with Garth Brooks. Hey, Garth, you got my fiddle player, man. I'm so blessed to have that type of talent on my songs. I think I'm on a roll here, Mike. I'm on the Mike. I'm on the Mike Wagner show. Uh, I've been on quite a few other shows. I got great musicians doing songs. I got songs that my brother wrote, and I think he was a great writer. I'm okay, but I think I have some really good songs now. I don't really have a genre specific. Maybe Americana. I don't know where I fit in out there. I sound like Gordon Lightfoot, thank God. And so I'm hoping to have a little success at it. Maybe I'm making about, hey everybody, it's not a total loss. I'm getting about $50 a month from all of this now.
You never know. I mean, you could get up in our Spotify ranks, but that'll be talked about as well. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Uh, the biggest influence in my music career, I have to definitely say it was my brother, the songwriter. He brought me in. He taught me how to write songs. Um, Specifically one on one, him and my other brother. We played so much music together, and he influenced my songwriting. Musical influence, it's all over the place. I like the Stones. I like all the country, the old country guys. I like the Motown sound. I like the old black sound, like Brooke Benton and them.
Oh
I
yeah.
listen to Nat King Cole. I do Nat King Cole's song on karaoke. Rambling Rose,
Rambling
Rambling
Rose and
Rose.
Dear Lonely Hearts.
I love that song, and that's one of my favorite karaoke songs. And most people, when you do it, they've never heard that song by Nat King Cole. Well, nowadays, most people out there never heard of Nat King Cole. They're so young. We're all so young, Mike.
Oh yeah, we gotta keep the legacy alive, Rick. I gotta say that. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Uh, just roll with the ups and downs of it. I've been down pretty far. One night, this beautiful girl crossed the dance floor, and we were auditioning to replace, not to replace, but to fill in for a really super great band called Jeff and the Atlantics. And we used their equipment, and we didn't do very well. And this beautiful girl walks across the dance floor and I thought, oh boy, she's gonna give me a request. And I opened it up, and it said, quit, stop playing. And boy, did I feel like, really bad. I felt terrible. I'm a sensitive person. And so no longer than 15 minutes later, a guy come up to us and said, hey, you guys are really good. I got a gig for you. So it went
Nice,
down that
nice.
fast and back up. So you learn to sort of just roll with it. I'm a sensitive person, so that was really hard on me. But you do have to have a thick skin and never give up. Look at me. I'm right now at the apex of what I've been doing in music all my life. I'm having a better time with it now than I ever have, because at my age, I need this more than anything. I'd just be sitting here doing my gardening if I wasn't in the music.
Or you can
It's been
sing
a
to
great thing for me. So stick with your music, never give up, and keep on. If you're a singer, sing all the time. Sing in your house and listen to those nuances.
right, exactly. And of course you can sing to your plants, like well, Roger Waters and Robert Plant, that. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You sing all the time. Like if you're a guitar player, if you want to be a good guitar player, one of the best guitar players I ever played with, his name was Joe McMurtry. And
hmm
Joe came over to practice, see if he was going to play with our band. And when he came to my door, he had his guitar on his back. And Joe was about 23, 22, something like that. He was a little younger than me. And we went down to my basement, and he was so much more advanced than we were. I knew he wasn't going to stay in our band and stuff. But the thing that struck me about him is he had that guitar on his back. So
hmm
if you're a guitar player, you keep the guitar with you and you play it all the time. Because if you're not practicing all the time, the real professionals are. They're playing all the time. So you have to practice all the time. And if you're going to go out and play a gig, the way to get rid of the heebie-jeebies is to practice a lot and know that you know how to do it.
Hmm.
And get to that first song.
That's right. And of course, get that out of the way. That's the most important. We're here with the multi-talented singer, songwriter, born in Detroit, now in Palm Springs, Rick Lovett here on the Mike Wagner Show, guitar, song, and more. Rick, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. Once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your music?
Well, they can get me on Facebook and Instagram. You can get my music on all the platforms. You can get my videos on YouTube as well as my music. I've got ricklovettmusic.com coming up. I thought it was going to be May 19, but it might be delayed a little bit. And I'll have that. And that's about it for right now. Thank you very much for having me on the show, Mike.
All right, it's our pleasure. And just want to say a very big thank you for your time, Rick. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love having you back. Wish you all the best. And Rick, you're amazing. Definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thanks a lot, brother.